The Faceless God by Thomas Vincente has just got a second edition published by Theion Publishing, and I reviewed the first edition a long time ago now, a good few years, and I thoroughly enjoyed that first edition, and I'm just delighted to see this book back in print. It's been so popular, and for good reason. So let me first of all give you a look at the construction of the book, because I have already reviewed the contents of the book. I will tell you a little bit about the contents of the book in a few moments. First of all, just for the people who know what to expect on the inside, I just want to give you a look at what the construction of the book is like, and you'll be able to see right here kind of the texture of the cover. It's a little bit porous. It's bonded leather, right? And it feels so smooth. It's just really nice to hold. Now, as you know, I tend to prefer fabric coverings, and the first edition was fabric covering, but the print on the front, the embossing, tend to come off a little bit on your fingers. There's no risk of that happening in this case. It's a silver paint. It kind of looks white on the screen right now, but it does reflect the light. It's kind of a little bit metallic. It is definitely silver, and it's reminiscent, certainly, of the cover of the first edition, which was maybe a little bit more archaic, a little bit less detailed than this. The inside the paper is very typical for Theion Publishing. Very nice, creamy paper. Let me just get really nice up and close here. It's relatively thick, not the thickest in the industry by any means, but pretty thick for a just for a book in general, right? I mean, if you're not used to independent publishers, the quality of these wonderful independent esoteric publishers, then you're going to be surprised. But I've seen thicker, but it's pretty thick. It's very nice, very soft, very nice to see as well that it's cream. You know, I mean, I prefer to read black on cream. It's less hard on the eyes. Some of you may have noticed the little defect here. Unfortunately, that's the way it came. I'm assuming that Theion Publishing sent me simply the copy that they knew they wouldn't be able to sell, which is reasonable, right? You can expect your copy not to have that defect for sure. So let's have a quick look at the contents here. Just a couple more words about the differences between the second edition and the first edition. Is the new introduction, preface by the author, and then David Beth has actually written a really nice epilogue towards the back of the book, and so that runs over about 8 pages, and looks back on the book with David Beth's particular approach, way of thinking, philosophy. It's very nice. But yes, the core of the book remains what it was, which is a left-hand path, initiatory, introduction and process. There are things for you to do here if you are interested in doing those things, and there are also plenty of things to learn. So we're looking at the European sabbatic mass, right, traditional sabbatic mass, and its parallels with Lovecraftian lore and Egyptian ancient religion. So we're looking at so the Faceless God appears throughout this work as a dark figure. And so the book is really about observing these various dark figures and looking at the parallels between them. Okay, so some coming from relatively modern fiction, Nyarlathotep and Azathoth being creations of Lovecraft's, but also comparing these with certain versions of chthonic Osiris, Anubis, and others, and it's fascinating, right? Whether you're intending to, in fact, develop some kind of praxis around these figures or not. Just very, very interesting to learn about. Okay, there's absolutely no compulsion to put to practice any of these initiation rites. Just reading about it is going to be of great value, I think, for anyone who's curious about what the left-hand path is, and to get an idea of the difference between actual left-hand path and the kind of predatory nonsense that often gets peddled as left-hand path that you see all too often, unfortunately. Let's have a look at this table of contents. You get the foreword by David Beth. David Beth being the publisher, right? The owner of Theion Publishing. Then there's a new preface by the author, the introduction, the Lord of the Depths, and the Sabbatic Gnosis. Chapter 1 gives us opening the eye of Nyarlathotep. Then approaching the throne of Azathoth is chapter 2, Lovecraft, Eliphas Levi, and the hidden roots of the Sabbatic mythos of Azathoth and Aiwas, the Necronomicon Gnosis, and the Book of the Law. The shamanic model of Sabbatic witchcraft and the Sabbatic rite of initiation, which is fully described over here on page 77. Really very, very interesting stuff, and just tells you how to go about it, you know. Then in chapter 3, you have the Sabbatic path of Kabbalistic perspective, the PAN formula, opening the eye, ayin, of the void, ayin, on page 84. And then Nightside explorations, mysteries of the path of ayin. The vision of the sun at midnight, Nightside path working. So Osiris as a dark sun is a very, very present image throughout the book, it suggested that all of these dark figures may really be pointing to that to that original reality, right? And then in chapter 4, the Devil's Eucharist towards an initiated interpretation of the Black Mass, the Devil's Eucharist or Sabbatic Mass, once again, that you can go ahead and perform if you wish. And then chapter 5, approaching the throne of Osiris, Anubis and the mysteries of the Black Sun. Anubis as guardian of the gateway, Lord of Raseto. Again, looking at this dark figure as a psychopomp as well, right? A possible chosen psychopomp. The cannibal spell. Again, this is all explained, you know, as it's not quite what it sounds like, but nevertheless, it has certainly inflamed the imaginations of many, let's say, fundamentalist Christians who would be pretty scared, and understandably so, right, of such a title. Unmasking Osiris. But this chapter explains exactly what's going on there. Unmasking Osiris, the black god in the sinister perspective. And then conclusion, rethinking the Aeon of Osiris. Appendix is Anubis in the Greco-Egyptian magical papyri. Then you have David Beth's excellent epilogue, The Children of the Abyss, which is as I say, a philosophical approach to the whole thing. And then of appendices, right? The Kabbalistic correspondences, the very interesting bibliography, and then a page about the artwork and the editions. A couple of illustrations throughout, chapter headers, right? Chapters tend to open with a piece of art. And let me just focus in on one of the pages here, just so you can get a feel for how approachable this work, in fact, is. David Beth's writing isn't quite as straightforward and approachable as this. He's got a very philosophical, I guess, style of writing, and I know that it's a style that he particularly appreciates. So yeah, that epilogue isn't quite as accessible as what you can read over here. But yeah, as you'll see, it's really written in plain English by someone who clearly understands the core of what's going on here. You know, I truly believe that Albert Einstein was right when he said that what can be what is well conceived, what is well understood, can be simply explained, and Thomas Vincente does a fantastic job of doing that. I think this is going to be great for anyone interested in the left-hand path and anyone who is curious about the left-hand path. You know, if this was the first work you ever read about the left-hand path, you could do much worse than this. It might be a little confusing at times, but generally, I think it'll give you an idea of what good left-hand path work can look like, you know, and maybe give you a nice baseline for when you're looking at other works of left-hand path that may be a little bit sillier. All right, so there we go. That's the second edition of the Faceless God by Thomas Vincente, published by Theion Publishing. I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel, then the best way to do that is via the Patreon, which you have links to down below, and that really helps the most. If it's something that you can do to give from $2 a month to keep the channel alive, then that really helps so much. And even from $2 a month, that already gives you access to the Foolish Fish Discord server. So yeah, that could be something fun. There we are, folks. Thanks again for watching. Do take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye-bye.